is just this. Ain't like standing long for hours on assembly. Who I just hear my mama say, don't go to school. Today remember how the pen and matter with my teacher. So I decided to skip school and pretend I'm sick. Get out of tell me I can't get it for my bed. I just wanna hear my mama say, don't go to school. I wanna be a lawyer and I wanna be a judge. I wanna be a doctor and I wanna be an nurse. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be a pilot and I wanna be a teacher. I wanna be a singer with a crowd of fans. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. So I'll go to school. Being picked when I don't know the answer. Sitting in the exam when I did read enough. Handing out my papers without answers. I just wanna hear my mom say, don't go to school. Getting back from school when I relax and play. I got a bunch of homework and the times are hard. Got bullied at school and lost my best book. Oh, I just wanna hear my mama say, don't go to school. Would be a designer and I wanna be a farmer. Would be an engineer and I wanna be a vet. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. I wanna be dependent and I'm starting to. But if I don't go to school, I will be. So I'll go to school. I'll go. And I wanna be the best. I wanna be independent, understanding too. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. We wanna be dependent and understanding too. But if I don't go to school, I will learn how we know what will be. I wanna be successful and
I think we're live. I think we are. And welcome. If you can all hear me, welcome to Africa's first ever launch of the Africa COVID Champions. You are all champions. Welcome, all of you. By the way, this entire launch is being broadcast in both English and French. So you can click on the screen where you are right now for the language of choice. And we'll begin our show. His Excellency, President Jakaya Kikwete, WHO Regional Director, Dr. Moeti, Africa CDC Director, Dr. John Kengasong. Influences from Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Jeff Koinange, and I will be your guide through this first ever of its kind launch of the Africa COVID Champions. Now, on behalf of One by One campaign, the Africa CDC show, I would love to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. The One by One campaign was created to catalyze health for all on the continent of Africa. Now, the campaign is working to ensure that everyone in Africa is equipped with the information he or she needs to keep himself safe from COVID. The campaign would like to acknowledge the technical leadership of the Africa CDC, the WHO, and all health matters. We would like to salute their leadership on these unprecedented times. I'd also like to acknowledge our media partner, Clouds Media Group. Without Clouds, none of this would be possible. Now, the Africa COVID Champions are brought to us by the One by One campaign through the support of the Rockefeller Foundation, who are leading with innovative COVID solutions across the globe. Now, this is a unique, maybe an historic event. When in memory have so many famous celebrities and influencers, business people gathered at one time in one virtual space on behalf of our collective health. I have just been notified that we have more than 500 influencers right here, all of you new COVID champions with us today. Influencers from across Africa have joined from Zoom, through Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram Live, and Twitter. We have influencers from all realms: sports, arts, comedy, business, government, music, community and faith leaders, youth influencers, and healthcare workers, and many, many more. There are way too many for me to mention, but please know I am grateful to each and every one of you for joining us today and for agreeing to use your social platforms for health. I want to say a quick hello to some of the influencers that I see present right here. I see Edna Adam Ismail. She's a nurse. She's a midwife, first female foreign minister from Somaliland, as well as a former minister of family welfare and social development. Welcome. I also see Amity Iyambi Mufu. She's from the Caritas, a group based in the DRC. Rebecca Dali, community-led influencer for women development in Nigeria. Thanks so much for joining in. Idris Sultan, actor, comedian, radio host, who won the Big Brother Africa Hot Shots back in 2014 from Tanzania. Also see Mildred Akumu, community health worker from Kenya. Joseph Kusaga, media owner, personality, Tanzania. Thanks so much for joining us. Rita Nakakande, community health worker in Uganda. I also see Fetia Mohammed, a fashion influencer in Ethiopia. So many more of you, all of you online, live. Thank you so much. By the way, we have all been brought together, as you well know, by COVID and a shared commitment to rid our continent of this terrible pandemic. We, cultural leaders from across this beautiful continent, are brought together to support our health leaders. We have agreed to use our celebrity and our platforms to reach as many people as possible with empowering messages. We're brought together by a shared commitment to reach every single man, woman, child on the continent with messages of empowerment over this future-destroying, economy-destroying pandemic. Now, our health leaders have done their research. Believe it, take it from me. They have discovered that it is, in fact, very difficult to convince anyone to change his or her everyday behavior, no matter the reason. People are set in their ways, you all know that. They sometimes don't follow the information coming from their various ministries of health, no matter how credible. People will, however, listen to their neighbors, to their cultural leaders, to radio and television presenters, to people that they have learned through the years to trust. And so the Africa CDC, together with the 1 by 1 campaign and the WHO, decided to listen to this research and convene all of us in this citizens with empowering information about this bewildering pandemic. Africa CDC decided to convene a cadre of health messengers, what we're calling Africa COVID champions. Each of you have been chosen because of your reach, because of the size of your platforms. Each of you is chosen because of your ability to reach many, many others. I am eager to begin this journey with each and every one of you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your commitment to the people of this beautiful continent. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce His Excellency, Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, former president of Tanzania. He served the people of Tanzania for 10 years as president. Before that, 10 years as foreign minister, and held various other positions within the government of Tanzania. President Kikwete has dedicated his entire life to serving the people of Tanzania and of Africa. It is very inspiring to see that His Excellency Kikwete continues to dedicate his retirement to improving access to health services across Africa. In fact, 2 years ago, President Kikwete launched the ambitious 1 by 1 Target 2030 campaign to support WHO and the African Union to achieve universal health coverage by 2030. Currently, His Excellency Kikwete is the chairman of the Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete Foundation, co-chair of the World Refugee Council, co-chair of the One by One Target 2030 Universal Healthcare Campaign, and finally, chancellor of the University of Dar es Salaam. We are humbled by former President Kikwete's service to each and every one of us. Please welcome former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete for our first speech.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Jeff. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to join you at this important virtual workshop and to be accorded the opportunity to say a few words of appreciation and encouragement to you all, our influencers and journalists. I find myself to be highly privileged to witness the launch of #Africa COVID Champions, which we were longing for a long while. I feel proud to be associated with the One by One Target COVID-19 campaign, which is a brainchild of the One by One Target 2030 campaign. The latter campaign is an initiative I co-chair with Madam Kate Campania of Access Challenge of the United States, aiming at mobilizing political will to achieve universal health coverage in Africa by 2030. We feel greatly honored to be working with the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, WHO Regional Office for Africa, the Rockefeller Foundation, and Clouds Media in this historic mission. It became evident last year that our lofty target of achieving universal health coverage in Africa by 2030 cannot be realized if we won't equally lend our efforts in the fight against the novel COVID-19 pandemic. As we have all witnessed, COVID-19 had caused a lot of disruptions in the past year, and Jeff has explained it very lightly. The economy, social life has all been limited. Even countries with advanced, sophisticated, and supposedly resilient health systems have not been spared. It takes little imagination to tell the devastating effect COVID-19 is continuing in African countries with inherently weak health systems, certainly more vulnerable and wrecked. While we appreciate the urgency of building resilient health systems in Africa and the importance of resilient health systems in fighting COVID-19, we are conscious of the fact that this will take time and probably than we would have wished. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to do something now to save lives and guard our already weak health systems. It was out of this realization that this initiative came to life with the aim of cushioning the already stretched or overstretched healthcare systems in Africa from the devastating effects of COVID-19. Unlike many other existing initiatives, One by One Target COVID-19 campaign has put focus on prevention, since this seems more practical in the African context and can be easily achieved with a discourse. And the surest way to achieve that, or to achieve this, is to arm our people with the right information to help them prevent themselves and guard our health systems from being overburdened. You may agree with me that while information remains an effective tool in the prevention against COVID-19, the information about COVID-19 itself has become tricky, slippery, and at times flimsy. There exist countless sources of information, multi-layers of platforms of communication, and a very diverse audience. Internet and smartphones are even making the situation more complicated. They have become both the fastest and reliable avenues of information and disinformation. And our current demography in Africa, being a youthful continent with a median age of 19, who are more prone to listening to their peers than to authorities, presents its own challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge before us today is therefore not shortage of information about COVID-19, but how best to ensure the right information is sourced, packaged, disseminated, and consumed in good time and in its original form by the audience we target. This is hell of a task. This is a hell of a task today in the era of fake news and misinformation. It calls for a need to change the way we use to communicate, from being instructive to being persuasive, from delivering information to holding conversations, and from pushing one-size-fits-all narration to the pursuit of customized narration. To achieve that, we need to have more than right information. We equally need to have the right people. And there comes the importance of influencers, journalists, and media houses. You are the people we need to win COVID-19. You are the people we need to win the COVID-19 fight. You are the ones we rely upon on delivering the right information to our people on how best to take prevention against COVID-19 transmission. We rely on you because we believe in you, we trust you, you know them better, and you have their attention, admiration, and approval. You know their language, they listen to you, they like you, and above all, they follow you. You are better placed to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is heartwarming indeed to meet you today. It gives me so much hope that you have joined this initiative. You are destined to be the leaders of today's fight. You have soft power. You are so powerful. You wield so much influence than perhaps government leaders, cross-cutting demography and geography. I'm glad that you have decided to put this gift of yours to proper use, to help your fellow Africans and to save humanity. I have so much confidence in you that you will take this fight to its greatest heights possible. I thank you once again for joining us today, and I'm wishing you all the best for the task ahead of you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Kikwete. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for your inspiring words, and thank you for your call to action, always leading from the front. His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, former president of Tanzania. Thank you once again. And don't forget, folks, Dr. Kikwete just said, hey, that hashtag, let's use it. Hashtag Africa COVID Champions. Let's use it. We have the power. Dr. Kikwete just told us we have the influence, we have the following. Let's use it. Let's use that soft power. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce a health leader without parallel in today's COVID-afflicted world. You see in the news, you see how this pandemic has brought even the most robust economies to its knees. In Africa, we too are suffering, but what we are suffering is perhaps a bit less relatively. And this relative advantage is due to the fact that Dr. Nkong and the Africa CDC and the Africa Union has been leading this response. Please welcome Dr. Kenga Song, who will launch Africa COVID Champions, a new cadre of health champions for the COVID response. Doctor, welcome.
Greetings from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. My name is Dr. John Nkengasong, the Director of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In order to combat the spread of misinformation and to mitigate the deadly spread of COVID-19, the Africa CDC and the One by One Target COVID-19 campaign, with the support of the Rockefeller Foundation and the World Health Organization, regional office, today launch Africa COVID Champions. Africa COVID Champion is a new initiative which includes some of the most prominent African celebrities, media personnel, champions who are lending their critical voices to our important public health efforts. Through the Africa COVID Champions, we plan to reach millions of people with messages delivered by trusted community leaders and personalities they see every day. We are certain they will take appropriate action to prevent the spread of COVID-19 because the value and trust they have in these public figures. There are so many of you out. You come from East, North, South, and West Africa, from all walks of life. With your help, we will continue to fight this pandemic and keep Africa
support through it all. Remember, folks, you are what Dr. Nkengasong, what Dr. Kikwete just said, Africa COVID Champions. And now it is a pleasure to introduce my sister, Dr. Matshidiso Moeti, who leads the Africa Regional Office of the World Health Organization. You may know that the World Health Organization is the leading technical organization guiding all actions in response to the COVID pandemic. We would be lost without Dr. Moeti and the WHO. Dr. Moeti, the floor is yours.
Former President Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, Dr. Nkengasong, dear friends, partners, and allies from across Africa. Thank you for working with us as Africa COVID Champions and for using your voices, your considerable influence, and your networks to help spread facts in the fight against COVID-19. And congratulations to our friends at the African Union and the Africa CDC, to Access Challenge, the Jakaya Kikwete Foundation, and the Rockefeller Foundation for this superb initiative. As you know, we're not just facing a pandemic, we are facing an infodemic. An infodemic is a deluge of information in a health emergency. Some information is true, but some is false, misleading, or even downright dangerous. COVID-19 is not over, and as vaccines are rolled out across Africa, mask wearing, hand hygiene, and physical distancing are still key to saving lives. We need a whole of society push to keep these messages fresh in people's minds and to help people understand the promise of COVID-19 vaccines. Your contributions are crucial as viral health misinformation costs lives and offline faster than the coronavirus itself. Misinformation spreads so quickly because it is simple, often visual, and taps into people's emotions. Last December, with the Africa CDC and 12 other organizations, we launched the Africa Infodemic Response Alliance to coordinate our efforts to respond growing with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and the fact-checking organization organization Ghana Fact joining the fold. My friends, to stop viral rumors, we need viral facts. So along with today's event, we're excited to launch Viral Facts Africa, the public face of the Africa Infodemic Response Alliance. Viral Facts Africa is a landmark collaboration between Africa's trusted public health institutions and fact-checking organizations. It aims to make fact-based, science-backed health information engaging, stimulating, and highly shareable on social media. Viral Facts Africa aims to debunk misinformation right where it spreads. Please help us spread the word, spread the latest facts on COVID-19 and on the rollout of vaccines in Africa. Together, we can stop viral rumors by sharing viral facts. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Moeti. You nailed it right there. Spread the word, help prevent all this fake news. And again, we'll tell you more about Viral Facts Africa in a little short while. But like Dr. Moeti and Ngasong and Dr. Kikwete said, all hands have to be on deck for this one. All hands on deck, not an individual thing. It's all of us in this fight together. Now, I've heard there's been a lot of hype about this performance coming up right here. There's a lot of talk on social media, so please allow me, after the keynote addresses, to now introduce one of our featured performers for today, Tanzania's very own Juma Jukes. Juma, take it away.
Hello, Mambo VP. Bonjour. This is Jukes, aka African Boy, the artist from Tanzania, East Africa. And today, I'll be performing live my song, Sawa. And I'm so happy to be engaged at the Africa and One by One campaign as an Africa COVID champion. And I will use my platform to fight against COVID. African Boy. Cheers.
Mbona kama chama pinzani kila siku matatizo inaniathiri ndani kwa ndani, na ikosa chanjo. Acha visa na sononeko la moyo, singizi sipati, kisa kwako sina maamuzi, domo koma. Umenipa upofu wa moyo, jicho la nasi mama, kwako sioni. Hey, nimeshika magari mpini wewe. Sawa, sawa, unikate vipande vipande. Sawa, sawa, nimeshika magari mpini wewe. Sawa, vipande. Sawa, sawa, yeah.
Wow, amazing. Juma Jukes, Sawa. And that song is definitely Sawa Sawa. Thanks, Juma Jukes. Thank you for lending your voice to this very, very important game, Africa COVID champions. Speaking of which, now the much anticipated launch of Africa COVID champions has arrived. As Dr. Moeti was saying, in order to combat the spread of misinformation and to mitigate the deadly spread of COVID-19, the Africa CDC, WHO Regional Office for Africa, that the COVID pandemic is so big that the only way that we can defeat it is if we all join forces and fight it together. The fight against the pandemic requires action from religious leaders, from business leaders, from cultural leaders, community leaders. We all lend our voices to the fight. Africa COVID Champions is a new cadre of COVID champions, which includes some of the most prominent African celebrities, media personalities, journalists and influencers, entertainment, business, cultural, and faith communities. Each of you have committed to serve as powerful public health messengers. You each have committed to using your powerful platforms to help reach people with the essential information needed to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, when people hear from the celebrities and the business and religious leaders they trust, they will take appropriate action and help prevent COVID-19. Now, the Africa CDC will award each of you with a certificate acknowledging your leadership in this fight. The more you share information, the greater will be our debt to you. In fact, the leading ambassadors will be recognized in a ceremony at the African Union in February next year. We thank each of you, the powerful Africa COVID champions. Thank you for lending your voices to Africa CDC's critical public efforts. Thank you from me. Thank you from my family. Thank you from my friends. Thank you all so much. And by the way, we will be requiring what we call a script as we go forward, a toolkit, if you will. And if you look at your screen now, you will see that toolkit. Each of you will receive this toolkit after this event. Today, we encourage everyone on this call to start posting, start resharing, start liking. And of course, that hashtag, folks, please allow me, if you will, to walk you through a few slides, which will be part of your Africa COVID Champions. You see there, slide 1. It says, what's the toolkit for? Okay, you see that? There you go. It's very easy. Make it to encourage basic self-protection by your followers, enable you to share simple and accurate COVID-19 messages from respected sources, empower you to help increase public understanding and confidence. For example, new vaccines, speaking of which, I got my first jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine the other day, and it was painless, it felt great, and unlike what people were saying, spreading misinformation, no, if you get a chance, folks, do it, get it done. More on this toolkit, you will see there are grab and go graphics, very key on COVID-19 themes, and suggested captions. Sometimes we don't know what to write under the pictures or graphics. In Portuguese and in Arabic. Now, the toolkit includes, I'll just read it real quick if you don't mind. 1, how COVID-19 spreads, how COVID-19 symptoms, wearing a face mask and coverings, hand hygiene, physical distancing, quarantine, isolation, taking care of yourself, about vaccines, COVID-19 in children, reducing risk at work, vulnerable people. And for influencers, don't forget this, community leaders, faith and religious leaders, singers, musicians, artists, business leaders, health workers, media personalities, sports athletes, all this is geared towards you. You're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And look at some of the messages, so simple, so basic, and yet they need to be reinforced. For instance, look at that slide right there. When a person who has COVID-19 coughs, sneezes, or just talks, they may spread droplets containing the virus. Simple information. So another thing you need to know, 1 in every 3 people infected with COVID-19 show no symptoms and may not even realize they are spreading it. Can you imagine? Once you know how to keep your distance. It's basic information, folks, but it has to be emphasized and re-emphasized and re-emphasized. Here's another slide. Take a look at this. Choose graphic, focusing on current topics. Anything that's current, anything you want to choose, you choose the graphic, boom, it's there. Grab and adapt a suggested caption. Share, always share with your followers, folks. You have a lot of influence. Believe it or not, your followers follow you for a reason. Take advantage of that. Here's another slide that talks about taking care of yourself. Very, very important during this pandemic. Keep physically active for your mental well-being too. And remember, always tell your followers, always tell the folks out there, we are all in this together. We'll win through if we play as a team and support one another. Simple messages, but effective messages. That's the whole point, folks. Nothing complicated. It's all about taking care of yourself. It's all about, and this is for sports people and athletes and everyday people who take care of themselves. Let your followers know. Keep re-emphasizing this message. Also, with the next slide, Easter is around the corner. We all know that. And then in a couple of weeks, Ramadan kicks in. So people have to be careful. People have to keep their distance. People have to keep emphasizing the point to their loved ones, to their family, to their friends. Taking care of yourself. There's a graphic right there. Keeping your daily practice is good for your mental well-being too, no matter what you drink. And then you can also try to avoid or try to be active and stay healthy, even while you're spending more time at home. If you're going to church or your mosque, keep your distance. Make sure you follow the basic procedures. And I tell you, folks, everything will be fine. And then there's another slide about vaccines. Safe and effective vaccines are being delivered around the world. And I know there are a lot of questions about vaccines, so many questions, but it's all there. And we can get more information. And the more vaccines become available, the more people will be vaccinated. And that's the most important question going forward. Get the latest information to help keep your family and loved ones safe. Like I said, I got my first jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine. You should too. If you get a chance, grab it. Don't even think twice. Grab it, get vaccinated, make us all a little bit safer. By the way, each and every one of you will get a copy of this toolkit once this event is over. There are all the symptoms. You see that COVID-19 symptoms, they're all there. And we know most of the symptoms, but we need to keep emphasizing and re-emphasizing and telling people about them. Don't think that you're talking too much or talking too often. It's never too much, folks. Keep emphasizing. You will all get a copy of this toolkit, every one of you. And please, if you can, start today. Start spreading the word, like Dr. Moeti said. Receive the toolkit, take a look at it, and the one-by-one challenge staff, by the way, are available to help you use it. Please share messages as soon as you can. Now, I would like to welcome our critical partners in the fight against COVID. In a prominent place, of course, is the World Health Organization. The WHO AFRO is today launching Viral Facts Africa. Please welcome Abdel Halim Abdullah, Crisis Communications Officer, WHO Regional Office for Africa. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for your very sweet introduction. And it's a real honor to be on this event and among those amazing panelists. I'm going to take you very quickly through Viral Facts Africa. So Viral Facts, as you have seen from Dr. Moeti's speech, is a new way to intervene in disrupting health misinformation and filling information gaps around COVID-19. The work that we're doing is really focusing around creating visually and engaging, shareable content that would enable us to compete with COVID-19 misinformation and to be able to address them. The work of the Viral Facts Africa is based on the Africa Infodemic Response Alliance, a network of 14 organizations working on debunking those misinformation, including the composed of the trusted health partners and institutions, as well as the trusted fact-checking organizations in the region. Pre-launch, starting from February, and even before that, we have, starting from September actually last year, we have produced about 50 videos. Those videos have reach in both English and French, and we're trying and working on improving our reach in other languages to make sure that we include other audiences. The work that we're doing mainly have reached 20 million views through this work. And just a quick introduction about the Africa Epidemic Response Alliance. Again, as I mentioned, there are a lot of partners from those big organizations, of course, Africa CDC, WHO, IFRC, UNICEF, UN Global Pulse, UN Verified, UNESCO, Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. And the amazing fact-checking organizations and our partners in that work, Africa Check, AFP Fact Check, Dubawa, PESA Check, Ghana Fact, and Medan. All of these are members of the International Fact-Checking Network, and they adhere to very high standards in fact-checking. The Alliance goals are mainly focused around responding in a timely manner to health misinformation and disinformation, and encouraging proactive disclosure by data holders, empowering media partners and to professionally and effectively share life-saving information and debunk disinformation on health issues, strengthening citizens' resilience to misinformation, boosting infodemic research, which is an area that we want to better understand the impact of the infodemic on the work that public health interventions and people's behavior and how misinformation online is impacting people offline. And of course, the most important thing is coordinating all of the different efforts, because this is a big partnership. We're trying to make sure that this is something that we coordinate the different efforts. So this is one example of a video that we have released last year in December, and it had reached on its own 8 million, was viewed 8 million times and had 500,000 interactions. Through this video, we debunked one of the big fallacies that COVID-19 doesn't transmit in hot countries. And through these graphics, we managed to reach and engage with our audience. These are different formats, and as you can see, we have produced the content in different languages and in different formats. So here, this is the WhatsApp version. Interaction is very common and very popular. We're trying as much as possible to create collectively with the different partners to make sure that we reach a very wide audience from and kind of co-commission and co-develop and co-design the content, the viral facts content. So I'm sure you're wondering, what is your role in all of this? We have heard about super spreaders who share the virus and are a main source of the problem. Here, we would like to make sure that we are part of the solution. So we want you to become viral facts super spreaders, and we need your help. So this is an alliance of, and we're bringing together not just the influencers and with the highest reach, but we also want to make sure that we also include the healthcare workers, frontline workers, journalists, celebrities, community leaders, academics, and students. It depends on your level of engagement and how far do you want to go, but you can just share and amplify the work that we're doing. We can work together and co-design the products to be able to reach millions and millions of people and your audience. Give feedback on the work that we're producing. These are different ways that you can engage. We have Viral Facts, the accounts on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Today we're live. So please feel free to give us a shout out, share the word. And one way to get spreading is to make sure that we use the hashtags Viral Facts Africa, Viral Facts Africa, Fatosfere Africa, to make sure that we can quantify the reach of, and it's very simple. It's all about stopping viral rumors and sharing viral facts. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you. Shukran Habibi. That's Abdul Halim Abdallah, Crisis Communications Officer, WHO Regional Office Africa. Wow, amazing stuff. Viral facts, super spreaders. Very important, very appropriate, very timely. And all this at the tip of your fingers. You guys are giving us all the facts and we're just putting it out there. Thank you so much. Viral Facts Africa, folks. I'm going to follow you as soon as this event is over, right? We can count on that. Thanks again. And of course, we cannot forget the children. In many ways, children are most affected by COVID as they miss critical learning and socialization. In the midst of all the COVID-19 madness, we have somehow forgotten our children and how they may be getting affected. They are also very confused on what's going on and the crisis surrounding them. Now, in order to address this critical need, the One by One campaign and its partners, Roche Pharmaceutical and the Sia Khaleesi Foundation, are producing and distributing a children's book on COVID-19 across Africa. Now, the Khaleesi Foundation and Roche launched a children's book that will help parents and caregivers explain COVID-19 to children by sharing scientific facts in age-appropriate language. These are some of the snippets from the book you see right there. Now, the book is available for free download on both the Khaleesi Foundation and Roche's websites and digital channels. And the limited amount of free printed copies will be distributed throughout Africa in 7 languages. Now, the Khaleesi Foundation was founded by South Africa's 2019 World Cup winning captain, Sia Khaleesi, and his wife, Rachel, and seeks to support people living in undersourced communities in South Africa. Now, together, Roche and the Khaleesi Foundation aim to contribute to the Africa COVID Champions campaign efforts to spread reliable information about COVID-19 for our children. Thank you so much, Roche Pharmaceuticals. Thank you to the Khaleesi Foundation. Thank you so much for not forgetting our children. Now, please allow me to introduce another one of our featured performers, Uganda's very own. And by the way, she was a finalist in 2019's East Africa's Got Talent. Please welcome Lena Kagere. And by the way, she's only 8 years old. Take a listen.
My name is Lena Kagere. I am an artist from Uganda, East Africa, and I will be performing a song called Don't Go to School. And I am very happy to be engaged with the Africa CDC, WHO, Afro, and One by One campaign as an African COVID champion. And I will use this platform to fight against COVID-19. Waking up so early in the morning, I hate getting punished just for being late. Standing long for hours on assembly. Oh, I just want to hear my mama say, don't go to school today. Remember how we pin a matter with my teacher, so I decided to skip school and pretend I'm sick. Got a headache, tell me I can't get off of my bed. I just want to hear my mama say, don't go to school. Be a lawyer and I wanna be a judge. I wanna be a doctor and I wanna be a nurse. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be a pilot and I wanna be a teacher. I wanna be a singer with a crowd of fans. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. So I'll go to school. Being picked when I don't know the answer. Sitting in the exam when I did read enough. Handing out my papers without answers. I just want to hear my mom say, don't go to school. Getting back from school when I relax and play. I got a bunch of homework and the times are hard. Got bullied at school and that's my best book. Oh, I just want to hear my mama say, don't go to school. a designer and I wanna be a farmer. Would be an engineer and I wanna be a vet. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. I wanna be dependent and I'm starting to. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. So I'll go to school. I'll go to school. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. Independent, understanding too. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. We wanna be dependent and understanding too. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, how will you know what will be. I wanna be successful and I wanna be the best. I wanna be independent, understanding too. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will know what will I be. So I'll go to school. So I'll go to school.
That's right, Lena. That's right. That's right. Tell them, I'll go to school. If you want to be successful, you want to be the best, you have to go to school. Thank you. 8-year-old Lena Kagera. Wow. Incredible. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, that's right. Influencers from different countries here to share their experiences. Let's start with that. Let's start with our influencers right here. So we've got 4 right now. We're going to begin with DJ Spilulu is a record producer and a DJ in the DRC. We've also got Simon Mwewa Lane. He's a prominent social media influencer, news personality in Zambia. We've got Martha K, entertainer, actress, radio host, YouTuber in Uganda. We've also got Dr. Isaac Maro. He's the director of clinical services, Dardar Health Studies. He's also a medical correspondent with the Afya Check medical programs and a presenter, Njia Panda radio program in Tanzania. Welcome to all of you influencers. I'm going to ask you one question. It's actually a 2-part question, and I'll just get one quick answer or response from each of you. Starting with, let's always go ladies first, always. Martha K. We want to know about your personal experience with COVID-19, respective to your region and your profession. Martha, if you can hear me, tell us your experience with COVID in respect to your region.
Hello, Jeff. Greetings from Uganda. I'm excited to be here and to be a COVID champion, Africa COVID champion. My experience is unique because I actually caught the virus. And I'd like to talk about it so much. I'm not ashamed of it because I didn't have the information, and that's why I caught the virus. Now I do, and I'm helping everybody that can prevent catching it. Uganda was one of the last countries to record a case of the virus. And so we were relaxed. We were kind of relaxed. And I'm sure many people know that Uganda has a very young population. So we like to party. We like to enjoy life. And so when that was cut off, it was difficult. Like police had to literally force us out of events and parties and just public gatherings. So I think that has affected Uganda a lot because even now we're still under, we have a curfew of 9 p.m. We have to be indoors by 9 p.m. The restrictions have loosened up, but of course we still wear masks, we sanitize, and I think the cases have gone down so far. In terms of my profession, well, I'm in the entertainment industry. It has been hit really, really hard. Yes, businesses have been closed, companies have downsized, but for entertainment, we're completely shut down. There are no events because no public gatherings. But fortunately, we have the internet now. So there've been so many events, so many online shows, online concerts that have come up, and so many content creators coming up now. So I think we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I don't know if that answers the question.
It does, Martha. In fact, you just nailed. You said this is the new normal. This is something we
Yes.
all have to live with, because this virus has taken over the world and stopped the world, but doesn't mean that it's going to defeat us. Thank you, Martha. Stand by, don't go away. It's good to see you. Thank you very much. Dr. Isaac Maro, what is your experience in Tanzania, your personal experience with COVID, and how are you using your digital platform to let your audience know, to spread the word? Dr. Ari?
Thank you. First and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. In Tanzania is a little bit interesting because we have been dealing with the pandemic in our own way, which is somehow causing a little bit of a challenge to us as both public health specialists as well as activists and influencers. It has been affecting our people, and we've been seeing it's no-brainer. We see it, but the approach of how we are containing and how we are educating our people is a little bit of a challenge. But as days goes, I see we have at least some sort of an opening where we can actually talk about it openly, and we can discuss it. And I think we still have time. I can say our build, the way we are naturally, we are people who trust, I can say, alternative medicine. We do not really, we are not really fans of modern medicine and public health. So it's a little bit of a challenge trying to penetrate, or trying to give facts or to tell facts to people who have somehow an ulterior, I mean, the way they think is we are somehow not as correct as the people who offer alternative facts. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but again, as I say, now we are seeing a little bit of an opening, and we think we can get back on track, and we can really attack this in the forefront, and we can make a difference.
Absolutely, Dr. Ari. And you know what? It's never too late, Dr. Ari. It's never too late. Now, because we are very resilient as Africans, and now we have the toolkit, and we have the Viral Facts Africa, thanks to this campaign, thanks to Africa COVID Champions. Now you have the toolkit to go forward, Dr. Ari. So don't fear, we're in this together. We shall win this battle together. DJ Spilulu, all the way from DRC. DJ Spilulu, if you can hear me, what has been your experience in that vast country, and how are people dealing with it? How are you helping folks deal with it?
Hello, Big Jeff. Hello, the world. Yeah, it's been hectic here, and this pandemic happened like at the worst time in the country, because we just had a new president, and then we never had a government. Things were a little bit not in place, and then the pandemic just came through, and then it was very painful for us especially artists. The worst thing was, in Congo, we live daily. We don't plan for a week or a month. We go and hustle and live for today, and then tomorrow you need to go and hustle and get something. So it was very complicated, and then the way it happened, they just tell us there's a curfew and all those prevention for the COVID to spread. So it was very difficult for us, but this was just for a moment, for a week, and then after that, I think we had to cope with it. We survived, and then we started respecting how to live with the pandemic. The the thing that I also like with Congolese people is like we fear about it because the way the media came through with it, we feared. The more we feared, so we had to protect ourselves. So we started protecting ourselves, but at some certain point, since we have the internet now, there's always controversies. Yeah, people are saying this pandemic, it's just a politic thing. We haven't seen anybody suffering from corona and what, but I had to experience it to see someone or a friend who had it for me to confirm that the pandemic exists. And luckily, I had a friend who had corona and he survived from it. He's a DJ as well, DJ Bodhisattva. He lives in Lisbon. So since I could see that he was one of my friends who had it, so it helped me to start spreading the word and saying like guys, this is true, you know, this is true, and watch out, don't just prevent the spread of the COVID, you know. But besides that, yeah.
DJ Spilolo, you are so right. You know, it's up to people like you and I to demystify all the stereotypes, all the myths, and let the ordinary people know they trust you more than they trust the politicians. So you, DJ Spilolo, are in the right place at the right time. Let's go to Zambia. Simon Moyalane, are you there, Simon? Give us your perspective from Zambia. Simon?
Thank you so much, Jeff, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. You know, the last quarter of last year was very difficult for us because we started seeing all these numbers. We had these daily briefings by our local ministry here, the Ministry of Health. And for about 2 or 3 months, it was very scary. Everybody was wearing masks and you know, everybody was very apprehensive. But the problem was after about 3 months, people, the average person on the street started slacking. They started saying, well, you know, they're telling us there's this invisible monster out there, but nobody I know has experienced this monster. And then something interesting started to happen. The numbers became people. All of a sudden on the news, on the internet, you started seeing people's faces that you knew, and they were declared as having had COVID, you know, and then those numbers started turning into fatalities. And the challenge that our government had was, because at the time there was this talk, should there be a lockdown? Should there not be a lockdown? What are the implications of a lockdown? And as our DJ friend from the Congo said, it's the same setup here in Zambia. We live day by day. The average Zambian on the street lives day by day. So if you cut off a source of income from a large population, the effects would be devastating. So we went through that, and then all of a sudden there were these conspiracy theories, just like my friend said, you know, and for the first time I've just learned that word here today. What was it? Infodemic. We had that here. You know, there were so many different theories out there.
Yeah.
Let me just say here, the last thing the last frontier is the vaccines have not arrived yet, but they are about to hit Zambia. The biggest challenge we're going to have is convincing our people that it's important to take the vaccine, and that's where the final frontier will be. Are we still on?
You know what, Simon, I don't know if it's your signal or ours, but you are absolutely right in what you just said. And I'm so proud to be associated with you, because you're the right person in the right place to spread that message, to spread the word. And yes, when the vaccines become more available, when they get to your country, you're the one who's going to lead have to lead from the front, Simon. You, DJ Spilulu, Martha Kay, and Dr. Isaac Morrow, all of you, I'm proud to be associated with you as influencers. And please, keep influencing. Keep influencing. And by the way, I didn't mention before earlier, but we actually do have some experts right here, people who know this stuff a lot better than we do. I've got Dr. Ahmed E. Oguel Oma. He's Deputy Director at the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, and also Dr. Richard Mihigo, Program Area Manager for Immunization and Vaccine Development at the World Health Organization Regional Office for Africa. Now, folks, any one of you who wants to ask some questions, make some comments, type it right there in the comment section. Just type your questions and I'll read them. And I'll ask Dr. Oguel Oma and I'll ask Dr. Richard Mihigo. I'll ask both of them your questions. In fact, I see questions here already, my goodness. Okay, first question from Samuel Musita. He's a journalist at KBC in Kenya. Now, Simon wants to know, with vaccines like Pfizer, Moderna, in short supply, some places literally unavailable in some countries, what are your thoughts about taking other vaccines that are easier to get, such as the Chinese vaccines? Dr. Oguel Oma, Dr. Richard Mihigo, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Jeff, and very good question there. I think we need to appreciate a few things here, that the process of getting a vaccine to get emergency use authorization or emergency use license at country level goes through very many steps that check on the vaccine's safety and the vaccine's efficacy. So although we are talking a lot about a few vaccines, usually Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, we do have a vaccine from Russia, call it Sputnik V. We do have 2 vaccines from China, Sinopharm and Sinovac. And as Africa CDC, what we do is we go through all the information, the data that each vaccine has, and based on the safety profile and then based on the efficacy profile, we give it emergency use authorization. So we are studying all the vaccines and we have given emergency use authorization to some. The others are on the way. As soon as we have studied all the data, I think we should be able to have them in the market as well. But any vaccine, irrespective of where it has been manufactured, so long as it has been given emergency use authorization, it is good to go for the public to use.
And Dr. Mihigo, are we satisfied with the level of rollout in Africa? Are we satisfied?
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, the audience. I think it's very good to have you. Simple response: no, we are not happy. We are not satisfied. Africa is lagging behind in many instances. We have been watching other continents immunizing millions of their citizens. And in Africa, we are only getting started. I think it takes all of us to really advocate, advocate for Africa to be at the same level. We are talking about global equity. And at WHO, one of our real message for the moment, unless everybody is immunized, nobody will be safe. So we need absolutely all of us to get the vaccine at the same time and not wait until the West will finish to join the queue.
Very good, very good. And on that vaccine note, Mina Ali, she's a radio personality, BBC Media Action Clouds Media in Tanzania, says, are there any major vaccines in the market with potentially deadly side effects? She says, goes on to say, I have been hearing about major vaccines like AstraZeneca being banned in countries in Europe. Can I trust this vaccine? By the way, doctor, that's the one I got, and I can vouch for it right now. You go ahead. You're the expert. You tell us.
Congratulations, Jeff, I think, to get the job. I think, as my friend, Dr. Oguel, have said, before a vaccine gets authorization, and for the moment being recommended for emergency use, I think we go through a very stringent and very detailed analysis of the safety of the product, and to make sure that the vaccine is efficacious enough to confer the immunity. So we indeed heard all what happened with the AstraZeneca vaccine, but as Dr. Ogwell said, both the African Union, Africa CDC, WHO, the European Medicine Agency, after reviewing all the data, concluded that this is a vaccine safe to go. So there will be no vaccine that will be recommended which is not safe.
Very good point. Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Ogweloma, let me ask you this. This is from GNL in Zambia, or GNL Zamba. He's a hip hop artist in Uganda. He says, if vaccines are 90% effective, why do I still need to wear a mask and social distance after vaccinations? Good question.
It's important to know that we live in a world where we are interconnected. And me protecting myself means that I will protect the next person. And not everybody may be vaccinated at the same time. So although we are vaccinated, we must realize that we can still protect the next person by wearing that mask, because vaccines do not stop you from getting infected. Vaccines stop you from getting sick, and they also reduce your risk of passing the virus on to someone else. But it does not eliminate the risk of actually getting infected. And you don't want to be in a situation where you are the one who's passing the virus to the next person. We also must remember that it is not 100%. It is above 90, but then that little percent that remains on top would mean that you can be able to transmit the virus to the next person. So vaccines stop you from getting sick, but vaccines do not stop you from getting infected. And although it reduces the risk by a big margin for you to transmit any virus to the next person, you don't want to take that risk and passing it on to someone who is not vaccinated until such a time as we'll have full immunity across the globe.
Yeah, questions are coming in thick and fast. This one is from James Songwe. He's a marketing executive at Trade Kings in Zambia. He says, children have lost almost a year of education due to schools being closed. With schools now being reopened, how can we ensure our kids are truly safe?
Well, I think we have discussed a lot about vaccine, and it's true that vaccine are not necessarily the bullet magic that is going to help us to stop this. They're going to contribute a lot. We need to remember that, and we heard it from some of our influencers, that they are continuing to observe the basic hygiene measure, social distancing, making sure that we are observing all the steps that have been so far found successful should continue. So as the school opens, as other businesses are slowly getting open, I think it's critical that we continue to advocate for the continuous use of strict hygiene measure, the continuous use of mask, but also social distancing, to make sure that these different complementary measures are going to make us safe and continue to protect others while we are moving on.
Absolutely. We have a couple more minutes. I just want some closing remarks from you, starting with Dr. Ahmed Ogweloma. Some closing remarks moving forward. Give us some hope. Give us some moving as a continent. Can we win this battle moving forward?
Yes, Jeff. Africa can be able to win this battle. It starts with the individual being disciplined and following the right protocols, and it ends with the individual being disciplined and following the right protocols. It starts with you and me. If we do the right thing, we will win this battle, and we can.
I love it. Starts with you and me. Dr. Richard Mihigo, you get the last word.
Well, to continue on where Dr. Ogwell have said, I think we heard it very well from many influencers. African people have been resilient, really. When we know the way people live on a day-to-day basis, but they've adhered to the public health measures that have been prescribed. Vaccines are coming. And I think the future could be better than what we are going through. So we just need to make sure that we continue to observe the social measures. We continue to be observing public health advice from the World Health Organization, Africa CDC, and all together, I would like to insist on this, all together, we will definitely win this battle.
Absolutely. Dr. Richard Mihigo, Program Area Manager, Immunization and Vaccine Development, World Health Organization, Regional Office for Africa, and Dr. Ahmed E. Ogwell Oma, Deputy Director, Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, champions. Thank you so much. Now, that was so enlightening. I'm sorry we didn't get to have all your questions answered, but please know that one by one team will also send each of you a comprehensive toolkit which will address all the most important COVID prevention and vaccine information. So worry not, you are sorted by one team right there. Now, please help me in welcoming to our event an Africa COVID Champions partner, without whose support, none of this will be possible. I'm talking about the Rockefeller Foundation. Please welcome Mr. William Asiko, who's the Managing Director, Africa Regional Office for the Rockefeller Foundation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My task is really quite simple, and it is, I think, one of the most pleasurable, is to say thank you to everybody who's been involved with us today in making this event possible. Thank you very much, Your Excellency President Kikwete, Dr. Moeti, Dr. Nkengasong. Thank you, Dr. Mihigo, Dr. Ahmed, and of course, the chief influencer himself, Jeff Koinange. Thank you so much on behalf of the Rockefeller Foundation and the One by One campaign. I want to thank all of you for your extraordinary leadership. I also want to thank each of the 300 influencers who joined us today. Every one of you plays a critical role in your community. As we launch the Africa COVID Champions today, we must grasp the opportunity to empower our communities to make informed decisions to protect themselves and their loved ones. Africa's next generation brings a confident entrepreneurial mindset that has reshaped what it looks like to be a community organizer in the modern era, accelerated by social media and digital tools. As COVID-19 drives the wedge of polarization and inequality even further, the work of grassroots organizers has never been more critical to keeping communities connected and their voices heard. We must empower their voices with the vital tools needed to build trust in public health guidance and support impactful change. The COVID-19 pandemic is not a fight for health officials alone. The only way we can combat a pandemic of this magnitude is if we all join forces together. We are proud to support the Africa CDC, the World Health Organization Africa region, and the One by One campaign, who are leading the fight against this devastating pandemic alongside communities across the continent. This effort requires business, cultural, and religious leaders to join forces to support our health leaders. Thank you very much, all of you, for answering this call. Each of you, Africa COVID champions, will undoubtedly be a force for good in this fight against the pandemic. Each of you will help spread life-saving messages on COVID-19 prevention and vaccination. At the Rockefeller Foundation, our mission is to build partnerships that spark innovation for transformative change. Africa COVID champions and the diverse multicultural group of cultural, business, and religious leaders you represent is precisely the kind of innovative, transformative change we seek. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Rockefeller Foundation and on behalf of all of Africa's people. We look forward to seeing your messages in bright lights across this beloved continent of ours. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you, William. Thank you so much. William Asiko is the Managing Director, Africa Regional Office for the Rockefeller Foundation. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for believing in us. We will do our part, sir, because you have done your part. You have done the hardest part. Ours is the easy part, so we'll keep spreading that word. Thank you, sir. Now, at the same time, I'm going to ask you all who are watching, who are listening, who are taking part. There's a poll question that we popped up on the screen. There's a poll question. At some point, just answer it when you can. There's a poll question we've all posed. We put out there on the screen. Just answer it if and when you can. And as you do that, remember to keep tweeting, keep spreading the word, keep letting people know. Oh, by the way, here's a question. Reliable? Okay. All right, there are more questions coming in. We'll keep posting them, folks. Don't worry. We'll keep posting them, and we'll get the poll out to you later. In the meantime, all I can say, folks, thank you so much for taking part in this. If it wasn't for the 1 by 1 campaign, if it wasn't for Africa CDC, if it wasn't for WHO, Africa Union, Rockefeller Foundation, Clouds Media, everyone, all our partners who took part in this, having faith in us, being with us. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for always having the faith in us and for letting us know that you do appreciate the work that we do. It's not easy. It's not easy doing what we do. And of course, it's harder on the continent trying to do what we do. Sorry if you lost me there for a minute. But I'm back. Thank you so much, folks, for all your support. Again, if you missed out on it, I did say, thank you to the 1 by 1 campaign. Thank you to Africa CDC. Thank you to WHO. Thank you to African Union. Thank you, Rockefeller Center. Thank you, Clouds Media. Thank you to all our artists. Thank you to all our influencers. You guys are the front line. Believe me when I tell you, you are on the front line. And we'll be getting you, don't forget the toolkit, start the movement. Don't forget to follow us on social media. The handle is at 1 by 1 2030. It's also being displayed on your screen at 1 by 1 2030. Thank you once again, folks, for being a part of this. And remember, it's never too late. It's never too late. And none of us can do this individually. We have to do this together as a team. And that's why you are all